Welcome to the Beach Money Podcast. I am your host, Jim Klauck. Jordan Adler, thank you so much for letting me host your podcast. I appreciate it. DJ Barton is joining me today. Hello, DJ. How are you?
Jim, I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you today?
I am doing very well. I like to tell people I'm living the dream. My dream is to live my life the way I want to live my life. I used to live it based on what my parents wanted and what my boss wanted, and now I do my own thing.
That's the best way to live.
I think so. Now I've just had to convince my wife. I'm kidding. She's on board with me. She is on board. I like to travel backwards, which is good because that's what Levarti is, right? I travel backwards. Tell me a little bit about what you do and how you guys came up with the name.
Yeah, no, I was actually one of the top money earners of a company last year, and the owners and executives made a lot of promises that they had no intentions in keeping. And so we could have kept our head down and kept building, but truthfully, it's against our DNA. And so started looking at a lot of different companies and nothing aligned with us. So my business partner came to me and said, "Hey, I've got over 30 years experience. You got over 27 years experience. Why don't we create a company from the field's perspective, but for the field?" And we put everything together that we like about our profession, and then we wrote everything that we dislike about it, and we created a company and a comp plan and a product and a vision around those two topics, and we created a company called Levarti. And we're excited. It's a travel program. It's a travel savings program. And we also created a technology that pulls the same inventory you can find on a public site through us, but we strip the commissions out so they can travel for up to 70% off. So we got some great things going on. We're growing all across the world, Jim.
Yeah, you guys need to get into the automobile business as well. You got Maserati, Lamborghini, Levarti. It just sounds like an Italian car.
It does. It does. I like that.
Yeah, kind of a sexy name too, really. I mean, it's interesting. So you guys came up with the name by just inverting the I travel. Was that right?
Yeah. So my business partner, Jake, we started just going back and forth on a bunch of names. And as people get to know me, I'm just more of a builder personality. And so I was at the point, I'm like, "Jake, just pick a name that resonates. It sounds good. It's catchy. And let's go make a run." And he started writing down a bunch of things and saw I travel backwards and said, "Let's do Levarti."
Yeah, no, I love it. It's a great story. It's a great name. And I'm sure it wasn't hard to get.
Yeah.
It was available.
It was available. It was available, and we're excited. We're going to run it up the pole. So it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. All right. Tell me about your relationship with Jordan Adler.
Yeah, Jordan and I had the pleasure of meeting several years ago. I've heard of Jordan for decades. I've read the book, listened to the audio, Beach Money, years and years ago, and then we got introduced to each other. He was putting together a group of successful entrepreneurs in the network marketing space to put some books together called Momentum Makers. And I was one of those co-authors with him. We hit it off. We did some trainings together, some workshops, some Zooms, and we just gelled. And it was an amazing relationship. We were together last week in Vegas, hanging out a little bit and having fun. And, now we chat on a consistent basis and building a true friendship, which is an honor to be able to do.
So you know that Jordan likes cigars, right?
He does. In fact, I had the pleasure of getting a great gift for Beach Money cigars and a nice leather case for them, and we were able to enjoy one together.
That's fantastic. So tell me how people can get involved with Levarti. There's a number of different ways they can use it as a product, and I want to hear about the product, but then there's also kind of a business opportunity as well. So why don't you talk about the actual product? How can people use this?
Yeah, so there's two things we did. We wanted to solve what we believe one of the biggest problems in the world, because life is short. We know that, you're born, you die. That middle ground is your dash life. In fact, our core product, Jim, is called the Dash Life, and we're creating a movement around it. And what we realize, there's a lot of people in the world that want to travel. They want to create memories. They want to create experiences that'll last a lifetime. And people try to budget and save money every single week or month to go on that vacation every year. But we all know life gets in the way. Cars break down. Somebody's AC unit goes out. Their kids need braces, whatever it might happen. There's more month than paycheck. And eventually they keep pulling the money back into their everyday account. And then they never go on vacation. And then they look up 20 years later and they've made excuses that entire time. So we created a travel savings program where you pay a monthly membership, and at the end of the year, you get more than you put in. So at the grand scheme of things, as long as you go on a vacation every year, it's not going to cost you anything, but we help you save that money. And at the same time, we give you free access to our booking engine where you can get up to 70% off. So we've got different levels of memberships based upon if they want to just go to a hotel stay up to 7 nights or add a cruise into it. We've got 4 cruise lines that participate in our program as well.
Yeah, I love this. So let me see if I've got this right. You help people with the discipline of saving, and then because of the leverage you have, they can get a better bang for the dollar that they've been saving. They just can't do that on their own. Do I have that right?
Yeah, so let me give you a real simple example. Our lowest entry point's $25 a month, $300 a year. At the end of 12 months, we give you a $1,500 credit. You can stay up to 7 nights at 3,000 properties, whether it's a staycation. Like I live in Arizona, in my backyard, there's a half a dozen properties, or I could go up to Sedona or jump in a plane, go anywhere around the world. I always tell people there's no gotchas, there's no gimmicks, there's no timeshare presentations, there's no blackout dates. They're all 3.5, 4.5 star properties, and they're for 2 adults and 2 children under 12. So, and they got 30 months to use it. And for some reason, if they don't find the time to use it, they can gift it to somebody as well.
Speaking of timeshares, do you get a lot of people who don't know a lot about your business, DJ, saying, do I have to sit through a 90-minute to 2-hour presentation where I get a free night stay somewhere or a jacket? Because I've been through these things. My wife will not sit through another timeshare presentation. I love doing it, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm a salesman. I love watching these people work. But do you get that confusion?
Yeah. A lot of people have a perception versus reality thought process. And so a lot of people always ask, is this a timeshare? No, it's not a timeshare. That's like 1985, right? It's just, you don't need a timeshare in this day, in my opinion. There's other ways to travel and see more at significantly less price points.
Yeah, this sounds like an excellent opportunity for a family, let's say, who wants to plan a trip, a vacation somewhere, hasn't been able to. It's kind of like having a coach. You hire a coach or a therapist or something to help you through things. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to build muscle. In this case, you want to go on a darn vacation with the 2 kids and the spouse, and you just can't seem to get it done year after year. $25 a month, $50, $100 a month goes away. The end of the year, you have this nice little lump sum, but it's worth more than that dollar. The face value is worth more than the dollars, right?
100%. And if you like, I can share with you how it works behind the scenes, because then people will be like, aha, I get it.
Okay.
And well, one, we own our own host travel agencies, and we do millions a month in bookings. And so we have leverage, but we all know that if there's an empty hotel room or an empty cabin on a cruise, those companies make $0. And so they use it as a loss leader. We have leverage because of buying power. And when they go check into the hotel, they might go to the spa, or they'll eat at the restaurants. They'll go to the gift shop. They're going to buy excursions. Same thing on a cruise. They're going to upgrade maybe from an inside cabin to a balcony cabin. They're going to get the Wi-Fi package. They're going to gamble at the casino. They're going to, upgrade to the nicer, restaurants, and maybe get the drink package and get excursions and the spa. And so ultimately, it's a loss leader for the hotel or the cruise to get them on, so they start spending money, and that's where they make it up for them. So,
yeah. And I mean, I've gone on a number of cruises, on a number of vacations, and, cruises are a big one where if there's an empty cabin, I know the cruise line rather have a couple in that cabin.
That's
to
right.
your point. Now, the food's generally a loss, but it's not. They throw out food all the time. I mean, they're making food by the thousands, right? They're feeding people at the trough. So that's not really a loss. The room has to be clean, but generally that's covered by tips anyway, right? And so the cruise line itself is now. And then if they drink, ding, ding, ding. And if they go on an excursion, ding, ding, ding. But here's what's really cool. if you as the consumer want to go on that trip for minimal dollars, you don't drink, you can drink the water and some juices, and you can eat for free. You can't go to the upgraded restaurants, but you can actually get away with a nice cruise for next to nothing, and the cruise line wouldn't win in that instance, but you would.
Right. Yep, that's exactly it. And all our clients have to do is pay the port fees and taxes.
Yeah.
We take care of everything else, which is great.
Yeah.
And they love it. And they start telling their friends about it. And then the ripple effect starts going viral. And every year they look forward to putting that money in that travel savings account and get something at the end of it.
It makes so much sense for people to work through your organization to do this, because even if they tried to work the system themselves, they don't know the ins and outs. They don't have the leverage. And just the discipline of saving is really helping them. We get in our own way. That's why, we don't lose weight. That's why we can't stop shopping. That's why we don't go to the gym. We're horrible. We're human. We're flawed. So if you can get into a system, it's kind of like saving money in your 401k. If you can just put $25 away every pay period, 40 years later, you'll have something at retirement and you don't really feel it. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's hard. People don't understand the long game. Unfortunately, with social media, technology, everything's condensed time. We live in this instant gratification society. I don't know about you, Jim, but if I microwave something and there's 3 seconds left, it's the longest 3 seconds of my life. And a lot of times I pop it open at 1 because I am tired of waiting. And that's how a lot of people are today. They live in that instant gratification world. And ultimately, we are training them and giving them a benefit, and it's out of sight, out of mind. And $25 a month for most people is disposable income. We have a $65 option where you get the travel resort and the cruise. You can bundle it and things like that. But ultimately, at least $25 a month, people can save that, and it won't jeopardize their financial situation.
Sure. Let me ask you a question. Do you make it fun for these families that are saving? Because, I think one of the most exciting things about going away on a vacation, whether you're going to the beach, cruise, skiing, whatever it is the anticipation. So during that process, do you guys do anything to get them all excited about what they're doing?
Yeah, we have emails that go out and, countdowns, and we're actually implementing like a thermometer on their login so they can see every month that it's going to the top. So that way they're 10% closer, 20% closer, 30% closer. So they see it actually growing. Just like when you log into your E-Trade account or some type of investment account, you can see the numbers hopefully growing, right? And see what you have going on.
Yeah, sometimes with your E-Trade account, it might be going down, but it would really not be going down with their Levarti account, because unless they've taken something out, it can only go up.
Yeah, and that's the best part, is it's locked, so you can't take it out.
Yeah,
and it's 12 consecutive payments at the end. You do it. We do have some annual options that give people a discount, and they can get it within 4 days if they want to go faster too. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, no, it's a really neat program. So you have an affiliate program that you can plug into this. How does that work?
Yeah, we realize that we live in what I call the gig economy now, right? A lot of people are looking for multiple streams of revenue. A side hustle's not out of the norm. Having one hustles that is awkward these days, right? But a lot of people, are out there driving Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Amazon, getting their real estate or insurance license, or, they're doing something working from home. So we created an affiliate model where they can sign up, and you leverage all of our sales funnels, our tools, our resources. It's a turnkey, like a franchise, where they can market our product. We do 100% of the support, the payroll, the commissions, the back office, and they can actually make some income. So that way they can even pay for their flights and all the different things and make some extra money along the way. So it's a really neat model. We're worldwide because it is travel, and we got a great opportunity for people to supplement their income.
Yep. So, this is something that's really not available in stores, right? It's one of those things that you kind of hear from someone else about, and it kind of travels that way. No pun intended, but it moves along through word of mouth.
Yeah, no different than how Uber started, a lot of these other apps. I don't know if you remember the first time Uber came out. I actually learned about it because a friend of mine we were going out to eat and they said, let's get an Uber. And I didn't even know what it was. And I saw him go through the process. And once he was done, he sent me a referral code or a link, and I registered, and I started using it, talking about it at restaurants, and it just started going viral. And that's how our model is as well. It's a referral based. A lot of people do some great things through social media marketing, and we do run some ads as well on Meta and Google and a couple other areas, and do some traditional marketing as well.
On average, how often do people go on vacation now? It seems like Americans are traveling a lot more, because I'll tell you, the cruise lines seem to be really busy. The airports, they always say, breaking records, more people flying than ever. So it seems like a lot of people are traveling.
Travel is here to stay. I can tell you. I will tell you that I've traveled a lot over the last several months, and airlines are double booked. The restaurants, the gift shops are full, the hotels are full, the cruises are full. The average family spends about 14 days a year traveling. They spend annually about $6,200 per family a year. So even just joining our club, and you can get up to 70% off on hotels, resorts, all inclusives, and the average family spends $6,200. Imagine cutting that down by 70%. Now you might, instead of traveling 14 days a year, 28 days a year, right? Because you can travel more because you're getting it for less. And so it's great. I mean, there's websites out there like Flight Tracker. You can see all the flights going on live stream all over the world. And there's tens of thousands of flights on a daily basis around the globe that you'll see in action on a 24 to 40-hour basis. It's unbelievable how much people are traveling.
Yeah, I know something about it. My wife has been flying as a flight attendant for close to 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I'm very familiar with the flying. And it's something else, because when I was younger, really not many families flew, or not as many. It was a big thing for business travelers. They travel for business a lot. And now everybody's traveling. It's really like... Years ago, there was something called, Greyhound or Trailways. People took buses places. They took trains, short distances, like, from, let's say, Houston to Dallas. They'll fly now from Houston to Dallas, which, it's like a 4-hour drive. But no, we got to fly. Everyone seems to be getting in that tube and flying. And it's a popular thing. So I would imagine that your business is growing at a pretty great rate.
Yeah, we're excited. We're blessed. We pre-launched actually in September of last year, and we fully launched February 25th of this year. We self-funded the whole thing. We're debt-free, and we're just reinvesting. We've got already about 1,600 active users on the platform, and we're not even 6 months old. And so we're excited with what we're doing, and just going up from here.
How often do you travel for pleasure?
For pleasure. Yeah, I was in Cancun, July 20th to the 24th. I was in Minnesota, July 27th to the 31st. And I was in Vegas from August 2nd to the 7th of this month. So I've been traveling quite a bit. I'm going to take a break for a few months, and then we're going to do it again around the holidays.
Yeah, travel's great. You don't want to do it all the time because it's less special. So if you can go away once or twice a year and have Levarti help you out, I think it's awesome. I understand your system. When I first heard about it, I'm like, okay, I get this. It's better than a 401k, because a 401k doesn't give you that 70% ever. But you're saving it on a regular basis. And then when you want it, it's worth so much more. It's almost the opposite of what the dollar does. The dollar is usually worth less in the future. In this case, your dollar's worth more in the future because of your leverage and relationships.
That's right. And we all know, Jim, it's not what you know, but who you know, right? And being in the right rooms and the right circles. And that's what we've been able to do and establish over our 27-year career in the space.
For the people who are watching this, who are interested in becoming a member and using the system, what is the best way for them to act on that?
You know what? I would have them reach out to me on social media. That way I can have a conversation with them to find out how often they travel, to give them the best, give them the best value based upon what product would be best for them. Whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, those are my main channels that they can find me on.
Okay, then they can search for you there. I'll also put in the show notes your contact information, as well as your website. And then if someone's interested in the affiliate, same thing.
Yeah, have them reach out to me. We've got a great onboarding system. It's minimal to get started as an affiliate, and we can get map out the plan and get them making money right away.
I think that'd be great for someone who really is involved in the travel industry. Maybe someone who used to be a travel agent or something. Because it's it's in their blood, right?
Yeah, we actually have our own host travel agency as well, where we bring on travel agents that come work with us also. So a lot of travel agents love our business model with what we've done. We've created a co-op around that.
And I know that industry's changed a lot. Back when I was younger, there was a travel agency on every corner in a town, or at least every town had one. And, for those of you who are really young, you'd walk into the travel agency and you'd sit down at a desk and they'd pull out brochures, and behind them would be, a picture of Hawaii or a cruise. And they'd go through stuff manually or maybe pull out a computer at some point. And that's how you book trips back in the day.
It's interesting you say that, because in our presentations, I always talk about when there's a big disruption on the other side, there's huge opportunity. When you look at what Uber and Lyft did to taxi, disrupted them, destroyed them. You look at what Netflix did to Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, right? Same thing with Spotify and Pandora with Circuit City. Nobody goes and buys a CD anymore, right? And the travel industry has never been affected or impacted or disrupted in a big way yet. I mean, the only change, to your point, is we used to go into a brick and mortar and sit across the desk with a huge computer and tell them what we like to do, and they would go search and find deals. We would write a check, if you remember that. Then they would send us our tickets once they got them, right?
Paper tickets. These were printed paper tickets in an envelope with your itinerary.
You remember that. And then all of a sudden, the online world giants, the Expedia's, Travelocity, the Bookings.com came around, and they just wiped out the brick and mortar, created a click and order, and they sold us on their marketing to that they give you a better deal, which they don't. It's the same price. They're a retail shop. And so we feel like we're disrupting that industry because we're pulling that same inventory, cutting out the commissions, charging a small monthly membership, and we make it up in volume so you can travel at wholesale instead of retail.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm excited for you, and I really appreciate your time for coming onto the podcast today.
Yeah, it's an honor, Jim. Thank you and Jordan for allowing me to be on here today with you guys. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you, DJ.
Thank you.